right. We will not give up the fight. Housing is a human right. We will not give up the fight. Housing is a human right. We will not give up the fight. Housing is a human right. We will not give up the fight. Housing is a human right. We will not give up the fight. Housing is a human right. We will not give up the fight.
Well, just before I came here in January, I was in the encampment in Bathurst and Dundas. It's a lot different than living here. You could wake up every morning and not know where you're gonna shower, or be able to like freshen up and go on about your daily routines. It's a stressful matter, you know. Here they come and check on you, you know. Being housed has helped me to avoid interactions with the police a lot more than being homeless. And for simple things like just trying to clean myself. It's hard in the wintertime, especially during COVID. You kind of got a bird bath, you know what I mean? Like bathe yourself in the sink and it's not thorough, you know what I mean? But it's also time consuming, and it's like usually a one person bathroom in some establishment where there's like a seating limit, so you're limited. And then I've had a lot of incidents where I'm trying to just prep myself and just doing what I could with what I can. And the cops become involved now. It's like, oh, well, here, okay, I'm black and white. You're this guy. So just from being homeless, I have a record. Yeah, I've had the police approach our tent with knives and just cut it open and drag us out off another property on Spadina. And like we had all our stuff in there, like food that we had just bought for like, you know, the day before for a couple of days. Our clothes, it was snowing outside. And he didn't give a shit. He just like, you gotta leave now, and cut the tent open, which we had just spent money on as well, and dragged us out, and then, yeah, embarrassed us on the sidewalk for about half an hour, calling my girl a whore and all this shit. They could have called somebody. Had they been able to call someone like Francis or someone from the Gerstein program, I would have been able to get home, or at least be, you know, have someone to speak to, or can calm me down and allow me to, like, you know, think straight and not panic, because I get anxiety, and yeah, sometimes that can be a mess.
If I'm on my way to a call and I need to be there, say in half an hour, and there I run into traffic, then I get anxious, because number one, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, am I gonna, when is it gonna clear up for me to get there? Number two is because I promised that person I'm gonna get there in a certain amount of time, that may increase their anxiety level. They might think that I'm not coming. So it gets a little anxious, because then I'm thinking, what if I can't get there in that time? What if something happened, you know, during that time? But in terms of a mobile visit, you know, we will try, if it's out of the area and somebody's really desperate. For example, Etobicoke, they don't have a mobile crisis team for that area. So sometime because of, you know, lack of the team, at times we do go out of the catchment area to see clients. Sometimes it can be a little bit heartbreaking, because, you know, somebody else is really in distress and really could use the support that you're not able to offer. Somebody who's having a crisis having to say, I'm sorry, the mobile team is booked, or the mobile team is out right now, I can't send them. It's not a good feeling. It's one human being to another human being helping. You and I could find ourselves in a situation that it tests our mental ability as well. And if you and I lose our house, or job, or house, and everything all of a sudden become homeless, I can't imagine not affecting anybody.
So in 2020, Gerstein crisis workers answered over 42,000 phone calls. We always have calls we cannot get to. Typical year, we will see about 2,000 people on mobile visits, and we'll have about 1,000 people stay in our crisis beds. The good thing about being able to call on the crisis line is that they can speak to a crisis worker immediately. And those crisis workers are trained in suicide intervention, crisis intervention, de-escalation, trauma. They work from an anti-oppressive, anti-racist perspective. And they also are really knowledgeable about what is available in the community and the resources available for people living with mental health and substance use. So along with the intervention that can happen directly in that moment to help the person start to regain feeling like they are managing, they also can help them connect to the services that they need in the community. People's experience of trying to access the supports they need can be very frustrating, and they may have reached out many times and not ended up connecting with what it is they need. So many people have been on the supportive housing wait list for many, many years, and at the moment my understanding is that we have somewhere between a 7 and 10-year wait list of actually being able to access housing.
I mean, I gave up asking for help for a long time because I didn't know how to do it, I guess, and I never really had that the ability to express myself appropriately. But in securing housing, I kind of changed my attitude towards things like that. And like the approach I'm taking, not just like how people are receiving me. Yeah, it's giving me a lot to look forward to, having a place I don't have to worry about everyday things, like having a shower, just being somewhere where you belong. I have a child who's 17 months. If I didn't have housing, I wouldn't be in his life right now. Hopefully, eventually, the goal is to have custody of him. I don't know how to be a dad or the right dad, but I mean, I've seen quite a few examples, like not to follow by, so. Tried finger painting, and he doesn't like being dirty, so as soon as he got the color on his hands, he was freaking out. Instead of like going all out bawling and throwing a hissy fit, he looked at me and he's like getting whiny, and I was able to soothe him, So, and he let me do that. He lets me change his diapers now without fussing too. So, having a baby changes a lot, and my depression moments are still depression moments. Nothing can change that. But like he's like in the back of my mind all the time in those moments, and usually he's like my drive otherwise. So. I feel proud of myself that I'm able to be in my kid's life now. I keep my head up, you know what I mean? I don't have to feel ways about maybe I smell bad or I look grungy, or I feel fresh, I feel clean, I feel healthier, I feel like I smile at somebody, and not be looked at as like a weirdo or something.